You know, I've watched you. Sometimes our people disagree with you, but I mean, I understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Hey,
Why do you panic?
The way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it pretty.
Watch Johnny's bite.
Bismillahir Rahman Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Thursday, the 27th of February. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Today, the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, will fulfill a constitutional requirement by appearing before Parliament, the 9th Parliament, that is, of the Republic of Ghana, to present a message, the state of the nation. He will have to tell us today what he has seen, what he knows, what he has found out, what the nation is, where we are, and where we are headed. The President of the Republic is enjoined that at the beginning of the year, he must tell us. The outgone president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, gave us his last State of the Nation address to tell us what he was leaving behind. We will go into those conversations. So we will be in Parliament and we'll be here throughout from now till 2 p.m. And you should tune into 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio, if you already are not tuned in. You can also watch us on 3FM 927. We're on Facebook. I want to say thank you to Sonar Fashions in Tamale for my outfit. Sonar Fashions in Tamale for my outfit. 0246 590 162. That's 0246 590 162. Let them sew something special for you and yours and make you look all prim and pro and nice. Now, this morning, I want to talk to our labor unions. And I see our labor unions making a lot of demands. They are in their right to make those demands. But then the labor unions do not, or the leadership of the labor unions do not represent themselves. The leadership of the labor unions represents you, the worker, and I, our interests. So for example, if you're a worker and you pay SNIT, or you're a SNIT contributor, a member of SNIT, in fact, let me put it right, you are a member of SNIT. You are not just a contributor, because you have to be a member to contribute to the scheme. And your money has to be invested in your interest so that when it is time for you to go home, you have something worthy of that period that you will be old, weak, and frail to actually hang on to and enjoy, to sustain you so that you don't die an early death. That is the benefit of SNIT. Social Security and National Insurance Trust. Are they social? Do they secure us? Are they of national character? Are we insured properly? And can we trust them? SNIT is one of the areas that I'm very much interested in. And I have been interested in it because you find that if you offend the laws, that's the SNIT laws, and you don't pay your SNIT contributions, or if you're an employer and you do not pay the contributions of your workers or even for your company itself, the law will deal with you mercilessly. But then the question that we all ask is that after paying all those huge sums of monies to SNIT and contributing as members, what kind of investments do they make? I mean, you go to some of the SNIT hotels and some of the facilities that you know are investments of SNIT that are supposed to be raking in money, and it is a sorry sight. Not so long ago, we wanted to put together 4 of our SNIT hotels to sell off to one person because we said they were not being profitable.
And I have showed you an example of how somebody took on just one of the SNIT hotels. It was owing so much. A testimonial by Uncle Ebo White. The hotel was owing so much. He took it, turned it around, got so much liquidity, and brought it up. Today, go back to the same Elmina. Elmina has been run down again. It has been run down again. And so you ask the question, what kind of investment does SNIT make on our behalf, and what kind of pair of hands do they ensure that they hold these investments in trust for us? Or is it just because the law says, oh, they must take our money, so they come and take it, and then they use it for whatever it means, or whatever they want to? Because if you look at the private insurance companies and how those who sell their insurance packages walk from place to place, sweating sometimes, burning fuel, and you see them and you see they are frustrated. They have to talk and talk and talk and talk before somebody buys a policy or signs on to a policy. SNIT doesn't go through that trouble. When the month ends, they know the money will come. Now, if they have a guaranteed way of generating such revenue, how do they invest such revenue? And if it were their private entities, would they be invested? Go to the trust hospital. Go and look at the trust hospital. I told you that monies are owed doctors and nurses and people who work at the trust hospital. Somebody said they will take me to court. But you owe money. The unions have told you, ICU and the rest have come in. You are threatening law. Oh, Jesus. Meanwhile, you have my money and you are supposed to be using my money. And the trust hospital is part of the money that I contribute. And when me, as a member of SNIT, I am saying that the way you are managing the thing is bad, you say, I will sue you. You will sue who? If you are in your right senses and I'm a member of the scheme and I'm looking at my investment and I say, the way you are investing my money, I do not like it. You say, I will sue you. You sue me for what? Are you okay? Are you really okay? I think that the Ghanaian worker has not really had time to ask these questions. It is your money. It is not freebies that the government gives you at the end of your service to the nation or at the end of your work in the private sector. Whatever is deducted from you month on month is supposed to be invested by SNIT in your interest so that when you retire, that money is given to you. So if the money, I'm not asking anybody to sue me. I'm saying people have said that they would want to sue me because I'm asking them questions. And I'm saying that if I'm a member of SNIT, and I see the way you are handling my resources, and I say I don't like it, and you say you sue me, that's so be it. You are holding on to my money. You are mismanaging my money. I'm complaining about it, and you are angry. What kind of a homasocracy is that? What kind of jackcracy is that? What kind of a huntingcracy is that? Every single worker in this country who contributes to the SNIT scheme must wake up and ask questions how your monies are being invested. It's a critical point. And let me digress a bit. Yesterday, I saw somebody showed me a video. I spoke to my friends at Korle Bu, and somebody showed me a video that I said that, oxygen plant had been brought to Korle Bu. And my friends said, the first time you spoke, we had 37. So why is somebody misconstruing it? Well, and that tells you the kind of people we are. For 8 years, the oxygen plants were not working. 8 years. The oxygen plants were not working. Defense Minister Omane Boama collaborates with Health Minister and they put their heads together and they get an oxygen plant. And somebody is now debating where the oxygen plant is situated. We are not talking about the oxygen plant and its presence and how it will help save lives. We are majoring in the minors. That is the kind of country that we are. People die every day because they do not have access to oxygen. Nurses run helter-skelter to look for oxygen to help their patients because they don't want them to die, even though that's not their job. Today, somebody has brought a brand new, oxygen plant. And now the debate is that, Johnny Hughes said is that here, it is there, so it is not true. He's a liar. The oxygen plant is there. If you knew how to get oxygen plants, you'd have gotten it in 8 years. You failed to get it, and you should be bowing down your head in shame, not to be asking where it is situated. If it is situated at Kolibu or situated at 37, is it not going to save lives? Were you able to buy the oxygen plant? Were you able to even buy one oxygen plant? I've spoken about the MRI machine at 37. Were you able to replace it? Were you able to replace it? The services that the people demand of us is not this peripheral and some very unnecessary commentary that sometimes is made. Me, I stand here and speak on behalf of the people. Because I eat where the people eat. I join the trotros that they join. I mingle with them. I come back to the point. I digressed. Number 3, the labor unions must be able to tell us who is representing us in terms of institutional representations on, for example, the SNIT board. They should be telling us. Because the last time our SNIT hotels were going to be sold, we didn't really hear from our labor unions until push came to shove. You remember that the SNIT board chair said, oh, we can go, and somebody said, oh, we can go. Everybody said, oh, until labor says, no, we will strike. And then they backed off. Everybody backed off. Everybody who said, we will call off your bluff, they backed off. So now we, who put you labor leaders there, we want to know who are you nominating to sit on which institutional board on our behalf as a matter of institutional representation. We want to know. Oh, yes, we want to know. You should not just choose people so that we don't know who they are until an issue arises, then we get to know. We want to know who is going to SNIT. We want to know who is going where. All those places where labor has institutional representations, publish the list. We want to know. Just like you want government to be transparent, we also want to know as workers. We want to know. So we are demanding from you to tell us who is representing us on these institutions. We want to know. Now, Guta has been asking for tax cuts. It is within their rights. I mean, if you are doing business and taxes are killing you, it's okay. But yesterday, a senior citizen called me sometime in the afternoon and spoke with me. And he asked me a question that pricked my mind. He made reference to something I showed here about Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. It was on Monday, the 24th of February, the day we called Ghana's Day of Shame. If you cast your mind back to what happened in 1966. And I was talking about just 20 of the industries that Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's government had put in place. Today, most of them are gone. We have sold them like Kelewele. But what is left? The question arises as to how we are managing what is left. That's 1. 2, Guta is asking for tax cuts. It is within their rights. But are they asking for tax cuts just so they import into this country so that they can enrich the countries where they import the stuff from? Or are they asking for tax cuts so that they, as Guta and other institutions, can also industrialize and produce here so that the money stays here? That was the question the senior citizen asked me. And I in my mind, I said, hey, Chairman, this one is too bigger than me. So I'll ask you. Guta, good morning to you, Doc. You are asking for tax cuts. It's good. It is within your right. It will help business. It will help you breathe. Because in the past, you didn't breathe. You know it. Even though you people were too quiet. At certain points, you spoke up, but it was not loud enough as we have known you to be. Not just Guta, all the other institutions. Now, the senior citizen has asked me to ask you, these tax cuts that you're asking for, are you asking for the tax cut just to import all these things that we see around? Or are you asking for those tax cuts to be able to industrialize? It is a critical question. Today, as we speak, our Komenda sugar factory, and the Komenda sugar factory is one of the factories that I showed you the other time. Put the list up. It's one of the factories that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Osajifo, the first president of the Republic, the matchless Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, it was one of the factories that he put up. The Komenda sugar factory. It was one. Today, we have had promise upon promise. Show me the promises, the press curtains. Promise upon promise upon promise as to how we were not able to operationalize the Komenda Sugar Factory. In fact, in 2024, we had some even ministers going to the people of Komenda to speak frankly with them, to tell them that the minority at the time, which is the NDC now, and which is the majority now, were putting a spanner in the works for them by not allowing them to give tax holidays for the importation of certain things. This is 2022. President Akufo-Addo said Komenda Sugar Factory to resume production in April. The chiefs met him earlier, I think in January or so. He told them that by March everything will be done and that by April we will start producing. This was in 2022. There's another one. Komenda Sugar Factory set to take off. This was in 2020. Alan Tremantin was our Minister for Trade and Industry. And we borrowed money for Komenda Sugar Factory. We borrowed money for Komenda Sugar Factory. We borrowed money for it. It is not free money, but it's money that we have wasted and is rusting away. Today, we don't produce a grain or cube of sugar in this country. That sugar you have in your tea, in your cocoa, in your oats, in your Tom Brown this morning, it is not from Ghana. We are importing from elsewhere. And we all know how people who are connected to political power import chicken, they import oil, they import rice, they import sugar. So they do not want us to have sufficiency and the independence to be producing same. The last time the Komenda chiefs went to President Akufo-Addo to ask him why the factory had not started production, he told them point blank that I gave you a deputy minister and you decided to vote against my deputy minister. Why should I come and open the factory for you? The president was bold enough to tell the chiefs, it's on tape, I'm not manufacturing it. The commander or Kumfi, I don't remember which, but one of the chiefs, there was a whole delegation that went to him. And Kumfi, and he told them, he said, look, I gave you a deputy minister. And you voted against the deputy minister as MP, so why should I come and open the factory for you? Really? If Osajifo had thought in that manner, do you think that we would have had all these industries spread across the country? The Pwalugu tomato factory, what has become of it? The $12 million, $12 million, for feasibility studies. That's the kind of country that we have become. Look, the new Minister for Trade and Agribusiness, Elizabeth Ofosue-Jare, she's promising. In fact, let's listen to the president back then. Let's listen to him promising that the factory will start operating in April of 2022. Listen.
No one some cacao. They become sugar factory. Still, some civil works are being done there. Nyampa, by the end of March, it will be completed. And they say planning, no Indian phone by whenever Virginia, by April, production will have begun of the sugar factory. Sugar factory, about the Assam Cassia. It been said 1 year, Zukoria, Akwa Nyami Adaruma, Afedia, Mahama who said, it's Sikwan Paso, nearby. Inti Yenya me said by April no Nanyamano
So this was it back then, the former president. This was a promise that work had been. This was 2022. We are in 2025. The new Minister for Agribusiness, Trade and Agribusiness, Elizabeth Ofosue-Jare, I'm told, had gone there, and she has also promised that very, very soon it will start. Now imagine if the Komenda Sugar Factory was up and running, and they even had 2,500 workers running a 3-hour shift for a 24-hour shift, or what you call 24-hour economy. So you start working at 6 a.m., by 2 p.m. you are done with your shift. And then you shift your body, and then another person comes from 2 all the way to 10. And then somebody comes from 10 all the way to 6. People will get jobs. That's 7,500, cost 2,500, another 2,500, another 2,500. Put that together. That's 7,500 jobs from one factory alone. Our leaders are not bereft of ideas. They know what to do. They just refuse to do what they know what to do. Our leaders are our own. They are not bereft of ideas. They travel, they go for conferences, they go for exchange programs, they go and sign treaties, they sign whatever. They know every single thing that they must do to make you breathe, but they won't do it. You know why? Because you are part of the problem. You see wrong, you say it is right. You see right, you say it is wrong. There are people in Komenda today. People in Komenda today. People in Akufo-Addo today who will still support the fact that the government was working at it but could not get it, even with all the promises and the timelines. Listen to our former trade minister. Listen, today is Throwback Thursday.
When the previous government decided to resurrect the operations of this factory, there were certain fundamental things that needed to be put in place. You can't have a factory that does not have a guaranteed raw material supply. And that, right from the beginning, ab initio, was going to affect the viability of the project. Now, this is a fully integrated plant from crushing to milling and then to the refinery. So under normal circumstances, if the technical considerations had been properly taken care of, this would have been fantastic. Now, as we speak now, the land that is available for cultivation is less than 1,500 acres. And we need a minimum of 6,000 acres to be able to provide the minimum quantity that can make this project viable in terms of full operational capacity.
That's Alan Kojo Tremantin, shrewd business incubator. Shrewd business incubator. You can't take it away from him. So you ask the question, what happened? Because if you go back and check what he did with Empretech and the rest, you know that this is not a man who doesn't know what he's about. So what happened? Because as soon as he got into power, he diagnosed the problem. For 8 years, we couldn't get the factory up and running. He diagnosed the problem, he had the solution, but we couldn't implement the solution. 8 years. And that's why I'm submitting to you that our leaders know what they have to do to help you, but they fail to do what they have to do to help you. Listen to our current minister, and the burden now is on our current minister. Unfortunate that it may sound, she has inherited a problem, but she has the honest responsibility to fix that problem. Listen.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. White elephant is duly taken away. I have walked quickly through the ministry by a briefing I received about Komenda Sugar Factory. I've been told that as we speak, it is not operational. And one of the major challenges the factory has suffered was the lack of raw material to feed that industry and some missing parts. I've also been told that monies were released to solve these problems. And the total health of the factory should be done after an evaluation. And so I will work to ensure that we know the actual health of the factory. But it's obvious that we need that factory to work for the benefit of Ghanaians, because we are importing about $500,000 worth of sugar into this country. And so once I take office, I'll work together with the ministry to ensure that we assess the health of the factory and do whatever it takes to put the factory on stream.
So she said she has gone for briefing. The latest one is that she has gone to the factory with the press, and she says that, look, we have looked at it. We think there should be some strategic investment put in it by external people to get it running. We will wait, but we will serve the reminder again. Another reminder I want to serve this morning is for our regional minister, Ms. Oklu, and I support her in her drive to make Accra bright again. Because as you know, I've insisted that Accra is dirty, Accra is smelly, and Accra is dark. Gan e wo dum, gan e wo muji, ni taflache gan e jefu. In crime, aye fin, in crime, sebi e bon, and in crime, sebi aye sum. So I'm asking, and I support her. On the 3rd of February, she made a pledge that in 50 days, the darkness you see today, you will see no more. At least 70% of it will be gone. I support her. I support her also when she says that, look, we will have a regional sanitation day on the 28th of February. I support her, and you should support her. But you see, play the tape. I'll say something else.
Oh, yes. In fact, within 50 days in office, all these things should be fixed. 50 days in office. Yeah. Yes. Not even all, but we'll make sure that majority, at least 70% of it should be here. Oh, yes. In fact, within 50 days in office, all these things should be fixed. 50 days in office. Yeah. Yes. Not even all, but we'll make sure that majority, at least 70% of it should be here.
So this burden that Madam has taken on, and she's taking the bull by the horn, which I support her. Call on me any day, Miss Oklu, I'll support you. But you see, the challenge here is this. The previous administration in the second term made us wait for 9 solid months, contrary to Act 936, the Local Government Act, before we got MMDCEs. This was a government handing over to itself. We waited for 9 months to get the Danbotre committee to vet them. 9 months. A lacuna was created. That was when we saw Mr. Henry Kwate showing machoism all around. When we finished, the machoism literally vanished. So you have taxed the MMDAs to, within the 50 days, deliver. You praise Clote Kole Kokma, and I salute them as well. They're doing very well. But then the key question is, you do not have MCEs and DCEs. So how will they take those decisions? The assemblies can take the decision, the assembly can take the decision, but then somebody has to be there from the ESCO portion of the whole structure of the assembly to implement the decision. You do not have MCEs and DCEs at post. So how do you expect them to be able to act? Over 20 of them in Accra alone. How do you expect them to act? Because if you do not have the MCEs and DCEs, they cannot take any major policy decision. No. The assemblies can argue, they can do whatever it is that they want to do, but... So, madam, fast-track the process. Lobby your way through, because we are counting the 50 days. We started on the 3rd of February. Today is the 27th of February. That's 24 days. Tomorrow will be 25 days. That is when we have the regional sanitation day. And then we'll count from that point to the 50th day. It is you who promised us. We didn't force you to promise us. You said Accra will be bright again by 70%. We are waiting. We are waiting. Call on me any day to help you, but we are waiting. I'm sure many Ghanaians living in Accra are waiting. Now, let's throw back to the SONA. Let's go to President John Mahama. He spoke about unity back then in 2013. Listen.
Whatever our differences, whatever our politics, we must pull together and rise to meet these challenges. For the long-term survival of our nation, we must agree and commit to a multi-partisan process to secure the future of our country. There have been times when we have worked together. There have been times when we have shelved the politics and come together as one nation for the glory of Ghana. All of you know, and I also believe, that it was the right thing to do, and it felt good to do so. The people of this nation elected us all to work together, and we owe them that much. What they demand from us is partnership and not partisanship. They put us all right here in the same canoe. They gave us all paddles, and they told us to roll this country gently onto the road to recovery, growth, and shared prosperity. And that is the direction I believe we should take this country. But Madam Speaker, even with all our challenges, I believe a certain feeling of optimism is seeping into our Ghanaian consciousness. I believe that the days of division and discord are behind us, and that an era of unity and national renewal is before us. We have much to be thankful to the Almighty God for. With 4 years of growth, we have won back the basic strength of our economy. Fellow Ghanaians, despite the challenges we face, the state of our nation is strong. But now we must rise to the decisive moment to make this nation and our continent a better place than we have ever known it. I wish to thank you all for indulging me, and may God continue to bless our homeland, Ghana.
That was President John Dramani Mahama in 2013. That was his final State of the Nation address before he was sworn in and then took over and then, you know, all of that. That was his final one. Let's listen to Nana Otutu Brofo himself, the great guy. Let's listen to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, his final State of the Nation address. Listen to him.
Reflecting on this journey, I'm filled with pride for what we have accomplished. From the transformative policies in education and healthcare, to the strides in agriculture, digitalization, energy, governance, infrastructure, industry, and trade. These achievements are not mine alone. They also belong to every Ghanaian who has contributed to the collective effort of nation building. We've demonstrated that through unity, resilience, and determination, we can overcome even the greatest challenges. I'm confident that the progress we have made will inspire future generations to dream bigger, aim higher, and achieve more for our beloved Ghana. Speaker, as I take my final bow, I do so in the certain knowledge that our nation will go from strength to strength, and that freedom and justice has taken hold forever in our body politic. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to hand over a Ghana that is safe, secure, united, and firmly rooted in her attachment to democratic principles and respect for the rule of law. A nation that continues to shine as a beacon of peace and stability in an often troubled Africa and an uncertain world. I leave behind a Ghana that is thriving, one that has navigated significant global challenges with remarkable tenacity, whose economy is steadily rebounding, and whose institutions are operating effectively. It's a Ghana empowered with opportunities to channel the energies into meaningful and productive endeavors, where the arts are beginning to flourish, and where the elderly can grow old in safety and dignity, and continue to make meaningful contributions to society. I leave behind, Mr. Speaker, a Ghana that is working.
A Ghana that is working. That is what the president said. He is leaving behind a Ghana that is working. The question I ask you this morning in your corner, is your Ghana working? As an old person, your bonds and the rest, are you feeling safe and secure? The things that the president said were the marks that he gave to himself. So the students wrote the exam, just like what we saw with President Mahama. He also wrote the exam, and he decided to award himself marks after marking his own script. But you, the Ghanaian people, here in Ghana and across the world, you, the Ghanaian people, you have the marking scheme. What do you say? There's a final video from President Dramani Mahama. He speaks today. I just want to give him a proverbial reminder of what he said in the past, and then look at the past 8 years while he was in opposition, and now what he has come to meet, and then let that guide and gauge what we will be told today, because that has a lot to impact on the psyche and the mindset of the people. Listen to this.
Madam Speaker, From the early days of this administration, we have worked relentlessly to give individuals and families better access to more qualitative health care. Across the country, an unprecedented number of modern healthcare delivery facilities have been rolled out, including the upgrading of the primary hospital into an ultra-modern teaching hospital. Madam Speaker, we have also established in the short space of 4 years 1,300 new CHIPS compounds across the country. We have built 19 health centers for population areas over 500. We have built 12 new district hospitals. We have built 15 new polyclinics. And we have provided 161 new ambulances. Madam Speaker, 161 new ambulances for the National Ambulance Service. In the area of training, several nurses and midwifery training institutions have been established, as well as a university that is dedicated solely to the training of auxiliary healthcare professionals. Madam Speaker, over the last 4 years, our security agencies have seen the biggest retooling efforts in their entire existence. The Ghana Armed Forces, comprising the Army, Navy, and Air Force, have all benefited from the acquisition of new and modern equipment. This has enabled them to carry out even more effectively their mandate of ensuring our security by air, by land, or by sea. Madam Speaker, the Ghana Police Service has also taken delivery of new high-performance vehicles, communications gadgets, and other essential equipment. The service today can boast of an ultra-modern forensic laboratory, which has greatly improved their crime prevention and detection capabilities. Indeed, this capability was on full display before, during, and after the 2012 elections.
President Mahama, you have given us your terminal report, or you gave us then. I want to submit to you that since you left in 2013, the prison service has not received a single vehicle. That is what the officers say. They have not been retooled in terms of anything, the prison service. They said since you left in 2013, they have gotten nothing. Nothing. I leave it here. There's more here on Sunrise. Please call me 055-924-2717.